Oh, right, welcome to the show. Turns out that I played the wrong song and then I left off the audio anyway, so it didn't matter. Hello, Susan. Hello, Lee. Let's get straight into it then. How excited are we today?
Oh, very.
Good.
9 out of 10 excited. I think only if Capaldi walked in right now, I would be more excited.
I have been obviously watching my classic episodes. I have been learning. I have been looking at questions. And you guys have sent in a wonderful selections of questions for Katie. So thank you to everyone who contributed. I'm deliberately going to avoid questions that are like, obviously we're just going to have a nice little chat there, but I'm deliberately going to avoid questions like things like who's your favourite doctor and things like that, because I think you probably get that kind of stuff all the time. So a special thank you to those who have sent in kind of more interesting and intriguing questions, and hopefully we'll have a good little natter with her when she
sound like a backhand insult.
Sorry?
We sound like a backhand insult. Special thanks to those of you who did submit interesting questions.
I didn't mean it as a backhanded insult, but yeah, I guess it does come on that way. Yeah. Yeah, my bad.
It's okay.
Do you know what went live last night? Expert Adipose, designed by the community. Dum 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 dum.
And I'm going to be
Very
playing
exciting.
it. I've got it right here. I'm quite nervous and excited about unlocking my own expert version of my fat self. So what would you want to do things? Do you want me to have a go at the expert adipose levels? Do you want to have a look at the wonderful...
We should have a go at the expert adipose levels.
Definitely. And we've got
We've got
in 10 minutes.
Jadoons to have a look at as well. We've got the challenge and all kinds of things. I'll tell you, why don't I start off by playing the level and you can tell us about the news of the week, and we'll go from there.
I think
sounds good.
We need a theme song for news of the week.
I'll try and compose you one for next week. Okay, we'll go for it.
What are we going to
How are things going with 3.0? I finally managed to buy the new stuff on Apple, so I assume that's been sorted.
Good. Yes.
Okay, why don't we talk about that, Sue, first?
Sure. Yes. If I turn my fan on, am I making like a whoa, whoa, whoa sort of noise or anything? Addy?
I cannot hear whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, good. All right. Lee always tells me not to turn my fan on when I'm on Skype, so I just want to make sure. Anyway, so 3.0 went live. We had a little bit of a hiccup with iOS where people were unable to unlock the new areas, but that has since been fixed. The fix was even funnier because I was told that the fix wouldn't really be a fix. It would just give us more data, and it turned out it did actually fix. So anyway, so it's fixed. Everyone seems to be able to unlock it. Desk is remarkably clean for the fact that we launched an update last week, which makes me very excited and huzzah-ish.
Huzzah! Getting all support done. Desk is our support system. It is mainly snowmen because you hate them so much. I didn't design this level. Your community designed this level together.
My community
including
hate me. You should like veto their opinion. Oh, this is the
no, that's why I wanted to work with them. Yeah, all these bits of this were voted for. It's awesome.
Thank you, community, for teaching me humility.
Let's see, and we also launched in the midst of this rank 6. So the first is at 30 characters, Lee.
Oh, it's somewhere around 30. Yeah, I haven't counted them. Yeah, maybe more now.
We started by focusing on the characters that everybody starts the game with, and the fan
all storyline characters, all the fan area drops. Yeah,
doctors.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep adding more in. It just so it takes time to balance it out.
So are there any levels which are balanced for level 60 characters yet, or you just going characters first and then the levels will follow?
The second expert mode character that we launched, which is to unlock appropriately the 8th Doctor.
He's balanced.
So the next one. Character. Yeah. That's the first level, which is higher. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough with the team you have available to you now, but over the next few weeks, this and the other expert levels become a bit easier. And as we start doing, we need to talk about season 9 and what we're going to do with difficulty. Maybe we'll do like a hard version of levels as well.
Oh yeah, so like people can kind of play at a level which is appropriate to them.
Yeah, well, last year we did. What did we do? Level 10, 30, and 50. We took each new level that came out alongside the episodes for season 8 and did different versions. We need to do that again.
These aren't just snowmen, are they? These are respawning snowmen, aren't they?
Yeah, because you hate them so much. I think they chose that because you've said in the past that you hate this mechanic.
Snowmen which
your community hates you.
So I have to kill all of them. I have to kill all of them at the same time. Is this what we're saying?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I've got it. Don't worry. I'm working on it.
So we're thrilled. Some of the lovely emails we've got from people thanking us for the new content, for they're enjoying the Sonic Adventures. It's awesome to see. So thank you all. What else, Sue? What else has been going on? Oh, you were out of town. Why don't you talk?
I was. That's right. I was out of town at Chicago Comic-Con.
In the middle of all this chaos.
Just to make life harder for Lee. Are you getting like a streaming circle thing on your screen? Is it just me?
A streaming circle?
Like, I keep getting loading on the video part of this.
No.
Maybe it's my internet.
Oh,
I can't kill little addies.
Ha! So yeah, I got to meet some of the people in the channel, which was awesome. Labradite was there, and Jody was there, and I think at least 4 or 5 people came from the channel, which was really exciting. And I had a table there where I talked about the game, and sadly, both Doctor Who guests, which was supposed to be Billy Piper and Arthur Darvill, neither one actually was able to make it. They both canceled very close to last minute, and so. But yeah, I know, it's really sad. But it kind of became this funny thing because I had a code there in the book that unlocked both of them. It unlocked Rose and it unlocked Captain Rory Williams. So my joke was basically, this is the only way you're going to get to see them this week, is to enter this code. So that was fun. And I did a talk there about why Lee and I made the jump from console games to mobile games.
How was it well received?
Yeah, it was. Janice Davis, who I hadn't met before, hosted it, and she was a lot of fun. So it was really kind of like just the two of us chatting for an hour, and people listening to me blather on about BioShock and Borderlands and things like that. So it was fun.
Do you think you're becoming like a kind of a guru of how to do free to play in an ethical way?
I hope so. That would be cool. That would really be cool. I had a lot of fun, and now I'm back, and life is back to normal. And
Well, now is the calm before the storm.
Exactly.
We've been crunching for 2 months on version 3, and that's out the door last weekend. And now we're looking at 3 weeks until season 9.
Oh, that was a terrible turn. Oh, so not long. Dying. Oh dear, bad time.
Oh, we should pause this discussion. No. I'm going to just put all this pressure on you by not saying anything, so everyone's just watching you intently and not listening to my voice.
I'm confused by the. Oh God, I have to do a really, really good combo here. Can I move through the? No, I can't move through the gems, the lightning bits. Can I?
No.
So to match up 3 pink gems is going to be a bit complicated.
No, yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but you can do it. You just have to dank on the bottom right-hand corner and do some combos on the way there.
Oh no!
How about all those?
My finger came off the screen. No, my finger. Oh, I'm dead. I'm so dead.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Oh, look! What abilities do you have flashing? Does somebody up there have a get out of jail free card?
It's damage abilities, but I hope I've healed up a little bit. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I'll put it. I'll redo it for the tutorial later. So we're crazy busy. Season 9, long phone calls with the BBC and lots of art being drawn and lots of awesomeness on its way. And that's going to be a chunk of the rest of the year. We started planning, and this is amazing that we can do this. We're planning, up through the end of Christmas now and into January. That's our current plan is until the beginning of February next year. And the chance of that happening is we should hopefully get through season 9 and get through Christmas. And it's amazing since we launched it. We didn't think we would get through the first month. And now it's basically an episode of Doctor Who every week now from about early September until Christmas, isn't it?
So is it 19th of September?
It is the 19th of September, yes.
So our first level will come out on the 20th. It's the current plan.
Right. Are we ready to add Katy Manning to the call?
Sure, go for it.
I'm trying to see if I can add. I think she's going to try and do video, but I'm only getting the option to add to the call.
If you just add it to the call, if she's got video, it should just turn on.
Okay, cool. All right. Are we ready?
Do we get a drum roll? Do you have a drum roll? Do you have a roll or drum?
Or like a ooh, yeah, sort of thing.
I have a hat.
All right, here we go.
I feel like I'm very anticipatory. Right,
Are you an English teacher?
Hello.
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 Casey,
Hello,
how are
welcome to
you?
the show, Katie. Lovely to have you on.
Oh, it's very kind of you to have me on. I was going to try and get some vision on this, but unfortunately, because it's an iPad, it gets very wobbly when I'm holding it. Otherwise, as I say, you're going to have to spend the entire time looking up my nose. That sounds terribly exciting.
We are just thrilled to have you, regardless, audio, video, anything. We're just really happy to have you.
Well, that's really kind of you. I'm still looking for the little bit that says the camera.
This should be the little bit that looks like a video camera. Exactly.
You don't see anything that isn't there. If I press something now, I'm likely to disappear to another country. Goodbye.
So we have Addie here, and we also have Lee, my husband, who you didn't get to meet at Anglicon, is with us as well on the call.
Hi, pleasure to meet you.
Oh, and you too. You too. But no Lanyon.
No, Lanyon, he's at school. He's so
of course,
sad not to join us. Yeah.
He is definitely my favorite little kid.
Oh, he told us to tell you that he misses you and he hopes he gets to see you again. And he was very sad when he heard that he wouldn't be here for it. I told him he'll get to watch the show afterwards.
Yes, with me going, where's the camera? I can't find the camera here. I mean, you know, as I say, I sort of tried it once, but normally when I'm doing Skype, I don't actually use it because, quite frankly, I'm not very good at sitting still. So I kind of wander around and talk.
No, same. Or I
well, you know, I mean, you
scrutinize myself.
I think I can talk and do things at the same time.
So if we start,
so now I can't find the camera. That means I can carry on.
Pots and pans, then we know what's going on.
And you wouldn't want to know, darling. Plus, I probably resemble Albert Einstein after a night out at the moment.
We've got a whole bunch of questions from our community members. Would you mind if we put a few of them to you?
No, darling, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Our first question comes from unusually named Dr. Buck, who asked about the costumes that your character Joe Grant is wearing in the Doctor Who Legacy game, and he asks, why did you pick the one you did, and what other costumes of Joe Grant did you particularly like, or what else would you like to kind of see in the game?
Well, I kind of liked the purple in that. I thought it sort of worked. Plus, I was wearing a little Jerry Mouse badge on that, which I always loved, probably more than anything else I ever wore. Because you have to bear in mind, the costumes were chosen for Joe.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a great deal of input, except every now and again they allowed me to wear trousers when I was going to be doing, you know, huge amounts of fighting, as in... a couple of, I can't remember any names of anything right now. I've gone completely blank. The one set in the prison, I actually got to wear trousers, which was a relief if you saw some of the things I had to do. I don't think that would have been a good look in miniskirts. However, they did have me climbing up mountains in sort of platform shoes and stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Which I can still do. But I kind of liked that outfit. I thought it was really kind of sweet and neat, and it was an outfit, as a few of mine did, that came from this amazing store called Bieber, where I used to shop, but not quite for the same clothes. Mine were a bit more outrageous. Yes, I know. Hard to believe, isn't it?
I was watching your...
But a lot of people liked what I call my Doris Day disaster, which was like a little check shirt. It was in a Dalek-y one, little check shirt and a gingham pinafore dress and white boots, which I kind of painted myself. A lot of people like that one. Never was quite sold on that. I always, as I say, called that my Doris Day disaster.
And did you enjoy the Third Doctor's velvet suits? We added most of his velvet suits to the game. You know, we had a whole series of his costumes in the game. Unlockable.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, we have like 6 different velvet jackets.
Well, we used to choose those very much together, you know.
Did you?
Those jackets, yes. We used to have long and meaningful discussions. You know, we had the sort of, we had the autumn look, which was the sort of, you know, the moss green and the...
We have that one.
Yeah, you've got. Then we had what I call, my favorite, which was always the red satin lining. Lining. Hello, Katie. Good morning. Lining with the black sort of, that everybody keeps saying, "Oh my God, it's Peter Capaldi took that idea from him." Why do I have to do a silly voice? I don't know. Anyway, so I loved that one. And then, of course, there was the maroon beastie, which I also love. But yes, those were all very carefully discussed. And the frilly shirts, which, of course, I used to wear back in the 60s. That's a very rock and roll thing. From back, very.
I asked some of the community to recommend me some Joe Grant episodes to watch before this, and the one that came up again and again was the Green Death, which is obviously your last one. And
it's because I left.
The one where you left, and but it was brilliant.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. But I was really struck how sad obviously the John Pertwee Doctor was when you left, and it reminded me a lot of the kind of the David Tennant Rose kind of dynamic. I mean, did you feel that your companion was ever meant to be more than just a companion, like kind of hints of romance, or was it strictly platonic?
Well, funny enough, Stephen Moffat once said he liked the fact that there was a sort of a hint, but of course it never travelled far into it. But if you saw their relationship and if you see the way that they are together, there is this incredible bond. And I think when Jo says that she's, I misquote everything, by the way, when Jo says, that she's found the closest thing that she could ever find to the Doctor in the Nobel Prize winning Professor Jones, who was going to take care of this planet, which is what Jo became very interested in, having learnt what she learnt from the Doctor. She really did want to bring it into play on this planet. And I think that also indicates just that little thing. If things were different,
yes,
she knew. And, so it was always nice there, because if you look, he leaves and does the most beautiful performance from the car and looking back. But if you look at Jo, there's a tiny moment when she just looks over Cliff's shoulder. That's an interesting combination of words. Over Cliff Jones's shoulder. And you just look at that look in her eyes, So there was that tiny, weeny edge there, but never went any further than that, which I think was quite right that it didn't.
I have to interject.
I agree with everything you said. I mean, it was fascinating to see. And
I can't remember a word I just said.
No, a lovely performance from yourself and from John Pertwee, and it very understated but very meaningful. If that's not a contradiction, you can.
Well, isn't it lovely that there was an exit where absolutely no words were needed to convey that moment?
It was.
I just adored the Death of the Doctor, episode. That was such a wonderful.
Well, you could see where Jo went to save this planet and what she had done in the years that she'd been away, apart from dropping children at the bottom of every mountain in South America. Which is very Jo. And all the and not sending them to school and dragging this brood. And he was off on the oil rigs, and, she's chained herself to Robert Mugabe. I mean, you can see that she was, and down the Yangtze in a barrel, and all these extraordinary things she'd done. And I think it was a lovely way of following through what would have happened to her by Russell T. And I think it was absolutely spot on. That was where she was destined to be. And of course, what I always find fascinating is that they went off down the Amazon in search of this particular mushroom. And no wonder she had a lot of kids. Anyway, went down in search of this particular mushroom, which now, because alternative, substitute meat, you can get a thing called corn, Quorn, which is made out of mushrooms. So in actual fact, that was way before that had been created and invented.
So the science of Doctor Who becomes reality.
No, it's a little scary. But I thought, so going into that situation, that lovely, joyous time I had doing the Sarah Jane adventures, it was really nice to see that what Jo had done was really learned all that she learned, because she was very young, don't forget, and she was straight out of school, basically, with about a year's training behind her. And that you watched her grow up in front of your very eyes. And towards the end, you started to see that what she'd learned, she wanted to put in practice, but not necessarily just following the doctor around, the universe, but actually doing something here on this beautiful planet that we have gifted to look after, although we're making a bit of a mess of it, aren't we?
So I think some of the most memorable and the best Doctor Who companions have been the ones that really have their own story arc. They join as one character, they develop with him, and then they leave to become what they have now become. And like Martha has one, and Amy has one, and various other ones do as well.
Yes, and in my case, a very old one, which is rather nice.
Lots of our community have asked about your involvement.
I stood there one day and we looked at Matt Smith and we said, what's it like running around on a planet with 2 pensioners?
How was he to work with?
Absolutely a joy. He really is. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing to be able to be at the age I'm at now, working with so many wonderful young actors, both on audio and on stage and so on. It's lovely to see that the business that I'm so passionate about is going into these incredible hands. And he's one of those actors that I just watched him because he was such an incredible physical actor. His physicality spoke volumes. He was also a very gentle actor, and he was also really happy just to play out a scene without, with the emotion and the feeling and everything, without worrying about the words or, just really to play in the moment. And that was an absolute joy to have that privilege with him. And of course, to be able to work with Liz. And I think the two characters were so terrific together. And as Liz said, her character was quite, humorless in a lot of ways. And she said it was really nice to have the lightness of Jo's character to give her character an opportunity to show her light side.
Yes.
And it was lovely because, I adored her and we worked and enjoyed each other and giggled and laughed, and it was wonderful. It was truly wonderful. And Matt's great. I think all of the doctors have been wonderful. People always say to you, who's your favorite? Just in case you're going to ask me this question, who's your favorite? And I always say every single one of them is a terrific actor giving his take on the same role.
I agree. I think it's hard. It's like in many ways, although they're the same character, it's chalk and cheese. Like they're not trying to be the same
absolutely
personality. They're bringing their own.
All brought something to it that I think's been extraordinary, and therefore you don't have a favourite. I just get the joy of watching some of the older ones, which I hadn't seen much of, but especially for me, I've been very, constant with the new series. I haven't missed any of it since Christopher Eccleston walked out of that box and I stood up and cheered. I just, and Rose, I just thought, bang on. What a way to start.
Lots of our audience have asked about your audio adventures, which obviously you just mentioned, and lots of them have asked about your second character. And obviously not all of our audience listen to the Big Finish adventures. Could you explain who the other character is that you play and what their role is?
Well, I've actually played everything from, I can go right through John Pertwee, the master, Nick Courtney. I mean, I've carried all this. But my character that I've been playing for 13 years is Iris Wildtime, who travels around on a number 22 Putney bus, wronging rights and righting wrongs. And
how did that come about rather than just being an extension of the Jo Grant character? Was that something you pursued or something you were asked to do? How did that?
No, darling. I don't know. I'm not a pursuer. I let life sort of happen around me, and well, not around me, but I was in Australia and I came back here to do some stuff, and Gary Russell said to me, he said, listen, I've got a character that I want you to play. Well, as I arrived, I literally landed from Australia and went into the studio. I'd never seen the scripts. I hadn't had the privilege of knowing who Paul Mars was or having read his extraordinary books, because Paul Mars created the character of Iris and indeed Panda. And I went into the studio and he said, right, let's go. And I looked at him and I said, well, what do you want? And he said, oh, just do something. So I sort of did that. And that was it. She was born. And, and I knew that I'd sort of got to when I did my first one for the Bernice Summers. Bernice Summers? Is that right? Mm. Yes. And who's a character that's still going with Big Finish. And there was a moment where it said, Iris is singing to herself. She's at a nunnery, and she's singing to herself while mopping the tears or the dewdrops off cabbages. And I just launched into dum 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 dum. And I thought that was sort of said very much a lot about Iris. I know you're all sitting there going, what is she talking about?
That's fantastic.
And so Iris came, and I just felt her to be, because she's just this extraordinary, she's described as a rat bag and a, transtemporeal and all these wonderful things that go with her. She's adventurous. Anyway, she's quite incredible. And then I did one with Peter Davidson. And my favorite moment is we're both standing there and I'm playing the character. And suddenly he looked up at the box and he said to Gary Russell, he said, is she really playing it like that? And anyway, so she kept going, and I did a lovely one with Colin Baker. And then they decided they needed her to go out on her own, and she kept going. Then they thought years later they were going to cancel her. And then Scott Hancock has come back, and we're doing the new half-hour adventures. But I also put her together with Joe in a wonderful CD, my favorite, written by Paul Miles, called Find and Replace, where you get Joe and Iris Wildtime together.
Was that? Did you have to have conversations with yourself at that point, or did you record them?
Oh, but then I've been doing that for years. I mean, I wrote I wrote my own. Nobody else will talk to me. I wrote my own play when I was in America, and I did it on stage, and then I put it into an audio to do on Big Finish's first drama series called Not a Well Woman, and I played 26 characters in that.
Oh my goodness!
And then on stage, my one-woman show, I played 9 characters.
Wow.
I'm really good at talking to myself, and I just go in and out of voices and it makes it really much cheaper, you see, to have me, because you don't have anybody else. So that's the only reason I work, is because I bring all these people with me. And my partner Barry Crocker always says, I love it when you're multi-charactering. He says, it means I get the only nice one left coming home.
I'm always struck when I watch the classic episodes. I'm always struck with the different kind of pacing that they have. Obviously, you have instead of 45 minutes to tell an entire story, you have kind of the better part of 3 hours to tell a story. So it ends up kind of being slower, with more character development, with more. You get to know the kind of incidental characters kind of a lot better in that time. And I wanted to, obviously, as being part of that, if you preferred that kind of style of having longer to work with each adventure, or whether you enjoy the modern version of having kind of it short and snappy, but more kind of action oriented.
I am now enjoying short and snappy, because I think it works well with this particular character. I think sometimes with audios, good though they may be, they can drag out a bit. It's like when we used to do half an hour a week in Doctor Who in my day. Usually the 4-parters were better than the 6-parters for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, because I think if it's written well, the characters are going to come out anyway.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing Joe, there's only going to be a certain amount of development in an audio. It's not like a 3-year series.
So just get to it, get to the point, move on.
I'm a bit like that in life. I mean, sometimes, do you ever sit in the movies? I did the other night. I won't say what it was. Oh, for goodness sake, get on with it. do you know what I mean? When people start dragging things, I think, oh my paws and whiskers, I'm losing the will to live here. And I think if dialogue is really good, you never get that feeling.
Yeah,
absolutely true. Yeah.
I think Pete has just joined us. I heard a crackle, so I'm assuming he's there.
Peter could not bear to miss the broadcast with Katy. Peter's at BBC Worldwide. He's our producer there, Katy.
Oh, hello, darling. I'm sorry. I've just got attached to my scarf by my bracelet. So I'm throttling myself as I speak to you.
Hello, Katy. Hello, everyone.
I'm so glad it's not visual. I'm one hand, and I'm attached to an anchor on my bracelet. So I've taken the bracelet off, and it's now hanging from my scarf. Right, sorry about that.
If you need to disentangle yourself from anything else while we chat, that's great.
I didn't know, but I've been cleaning the house at the same time.
This must all seem a bit more normal than what happened at Anglicon, right, Katy?
Listen, do you know, I love doing conventions in America. I just have to tell you that.
Yeah?
Yes, I really, I mean, I love doing them anyway, because it's the opportunity you get to say thank you, because without the fans, the show wouldn't be what it is. And, so often that's forgotten. Because they are the most incredibly supportive, and they're fun, and everybody's huggy, and God knows I love a hug. And, and they bring their dogs and their children, and that's such a joy to me. But everybody's always so polite and so sweet, and I just go away with this elated feeling. It's gorgeous. I love them, absolutely love them, and I
can love you all enjoy it
so much.
Yeah.
How many conventions do you get to do a year, or does it kind of always go up and down?
Oh, crikey, darling, I don't know answers like that. I just sort of do them.
Like a thing you do regularly?
No, I don't actually. Up until this year, I didn't do very many, and certainly not in America. But this year I've done a few more than I've ever done, and I've got a couple more coming at the end of the year. There was one more I was going to do, but I'm so upset I had to cancel because I'm just about to open and play in London. So, sometimes those things do happen, but I will be in Chicago and I think Long Island, somewhere towards here. I'm not very good at days. It's in my diary somewhere towards sort of like November.
Yes, because Janarchy in the channel was one of the organizers of that, and she mentioned that you were going to that, which is, I think that's right around the same time as the anniversary.
Right, I am going. I'm not Hello, I'm a convention gate crasher. Nobody invites me, so my jolly own.
Someone's asking when in Chicago do you happen to know? That's where I've just come from, actually, funny enough.
Where in Chicago?
Or no, do you know when? Is that the Chicago
Chicago TARDIS?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, I know.
Yeah, no, dates I don't do, darling, but I always get where I'm meant to be. Truly, I can't, time just doesn't compute in my head. It's like when people say to me, well, when were you in the West End? I don't know, I just sort of was. Because time isn't relevant to my life. And as I say, in 45 years, I have never missed a show or been late.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's an instinct going in there, but the rest of it, I'm just totally, not thinking about time, years, and so on. I don't even celebrate New Year because I don't understand why.
Hang on, I looked it up, and it turns out you were at Chicago TARDIS on the anniversary of the game.
Oh, really?
The very weekend we shipped 2 years ago, and my wedding anniversary, I should add.
Oh, well, there's a bit of shame.
Wedding anniversary?
We did.
Yeah, reminder, Lee. Reminder.
Yes, would you let me know closer to the time, darling? No, I have a wonderful agent who does all that. Make sure I know you are going to say no. So I've done a few more conventions this year because I could. For the last couple of years, I just You know, and it's really made me realize how much I love them. You know, I mean, I always look forward to them, but really when I get there, I always have an even better time than I think I could possibly have.
It sounds lovely. Brecky Ston, I don't know if I pronounced that one right. Brecky Ston says, what monster would you like to see return from the episodes of Doctor Who on Sarah Jane Adventures that you've been in? Is there anything that they haven't brought back yet that you'd like to see return?
Well, not really, because my favourite, of course, Robert Shearman wrote Dalek, and my favourite was that Dalek. With great respect, that was much more frightening to me, because the great thing about the Dalek is when it came in its initial days, you didn't know, it was nothing like a human being. It had no arms, no eyes, no, flippery bits or, green faces. It was a completely foreign lump of metal. And I think that is a far more frightening thing than even thinking of there being a person inside.
We did we did a little survey just for fun. We did a survey a few months ago, just in the chat. What are the scariest monsters in Doctor Who? And the scariest ones always come back as the ones that you see less of. The ones that you only see in shadow, or there's only one of it, and it's kind of panicky, rather than these huge armies, which obviously goes very much with what you're saying, that it's often about what you don't see rather than what you do.
It goes back to what we create in our imaginations is far more frightening than anything we could ever see.
In fact, you know a game about that, don't you, Susan?
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about this game. I'm dreadful because I'm partially sighted, so that's why I can't use a computer, because I have to bend over the keyboard to get close to the screen, which means I'm basically typing underneath my boobs, which is not easy, trust me. And maybe I could learn to type with them. Anyway, now there's a visual I don't think we need to dwell on. So consequently, anything for me that moves around on a screen, I can't do it. I can't, it's even hard to read on. So that's why I have an iPad, because I can hold it right up to my nose.
Yes.
and I have an iPhone. So, unfortunately, but I just love the pictures. They look so cool. They really do. They're beautifully done. And I'm very excited to be one. I think Iris Wildtime wants to be one too.
We've had that suggested, actually. Yes, I know.
Oh, yeah, she'd be fabulous. She'd screw up everything for everybody. I mean, she'd be honestly better than having an alien monster thing.
I was going to say, we have one artist in Taiwan who draws every single character and enemy in the game. He's very obsessive about it. He's tried to outsource it, and he ends up fixing everything. So it's just. Well,
give him a hug from me, because I think he's terrific.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure he'd be really fun.
Because at least I've seen the characters and things like that. I can see that.
Yeah. And I think you were right with your feedback. I think it's much, much better with the images that you sent.
Oh, I think they're great. And I'm very excited. And I sit here with a little kind of smile on my face when I see it coming up on Twitter, and I think, I'm in a game. And actually, it was when I first, like years ago, now, of course, they get these amazing, but, when John and I were on the back of a cornflake packet or on a Nestle's chocolate bar, we thought this was terribly exciting. With some of the worst artwork.
I'd be excited to be on the back of a cornflake packet.
Yeah, yes.
Well, back then, it just wasn't something that an actor expected to ever be. And then, when they brought out a sheet of stamps with my likeness and the Queen's little face at the bottom and a first-class stamp, and I said to my mummy, Mummy, you can lick the back of my head. And then I thought about it, and I thought maybe they should have done it the other way around, then you could lick my face. Anyway, so I got very excited about that. And then, of course, they brought out the figurines. And now I'm in a game. I don't think life gets much better than this, does it?
It's certainly an honour.
I think it's wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you.
And my children, I'm so cool now for my children. I am just like, really.
Yeah. I know. Our son thinks everybody makes games for a living. He doesn't understand that that's kind of a weirdness. He asks me when I'm going to get, what I'm going to be when I grow up is typically how the conversation goes.
Right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we've got codes aplenty to give you guys. We've got Pete from the BBC. We've got loads of Addy Gold stuff to give away. So we'll be back in 60 seconds. Don't you dare go anyway unless you have to go somewhere. In case you can go, but then otherwise, no, you have to stay. So we'll be back in 60. Hello, everybody. We're back. Katy Manning is still with us, and we've got Pete and Susan and Lee and me and various Sontarans that I'm trying to destroy on the screen while we chat. I'm just going to open up today's giveaway.
I like Sontarans. I think they're very good. Love them.
Oh yeah, you can't beat a little kind of midget aggressive warrior. We're going to have
really, isn't it?
We're giving away 5 codes for $25 worth of Amazon coins. I think I've said that right. Susan, correct me if I'm wrong on this one. And we're doing this for Addy Gold, and we said we were going to give everyone some bonus Addy Gold to help them with this. So I'm going to click my handful of gold button 5 times, which means you all just earned 25 Addy Gold, which you can put into this giveaway, or if you want, or you can hoard it like Rob and just sit on it like a big pile of gold. And we're going to open that raffle right now, and we'll close it at the end of the show. So you've got about 15 minutes to enter, and this is real. It's kind of, I don't know, Susan, I don't describe it. It's kind of real world currency, but it's Amazon coins and it's dollars, but you can basically kind of spend it on an awful lot of things. But I suggest you kind of Google it and find out what exactly Amazon coins are.
It's games and in-app purchases and stuff like that. I think videos, like that's the Amazon App Store currency. Everything's in coins.
Yes.
And so they gave us 25 of these really generous codes. So we're going to be doing 5 of them a week for the next 5 weeks to sort of space it out a little bit. We have a huge promo going on with Amazon starting today. You're going to see Legacy promoted all over Amazon on lots of like the Doctor Who merchandise in the store. And we're going to be on the wake screen, and they're going to do an email and all sorts of stuff. And if you're playing the game on Amazon, you get to unlock the 12th Doctor and the Tangerine Last Christmas costume just for logging into the game, whether you've been playing or you start a new game over there, whatever. So loads and loads of stuff going on with Amazon the next week.
Awesome. And a massive,
Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, they've been lovely to us. Amazon love Doctor Who. They love the game.
and a massive thank you to Amazon as well. I think, yeah, it's basically in-app stuff. And I know you can buy Hearthstone stuff with coins. Can you buy the Doctor Who Legacy expansions with them as well?
You could, yeah, exactly. You could use that to buy your expansions. You absolutely could.
You can buy me with Amazon coins.
Exactly.
Sounding better by the second.
Which is very cool. Right. Okay. So the giveaway is going on, and we're back to just chatting. I think I've done everything I want to do. Oh, we've got some pictures of Jadoon. We'll do the pictures of Jadoon after.
The coloring contest or coloring thing. Yeah, that was awesome. There's some lovely pictures people did.
What's your Katie? We've been doing this coloring competition this week, like we just said. What's the your favorite kind of bit of or memorable bit of fan merchandise that people have kind of given to you? Because you must get kind of given people must kind of give you things to sign or kind of like, I made this for you.
Yes, somebody gave me a book and a Tyrolean doll.
Wow.
I don't know why but it just struck me. I went quite speechless when they gave it to me because I was trying to work out why. I just will leave that with you. That's just going to hang. Yeah. But I can say very useful Greek phrases now, like "Efaristo," which means thank you. "Parakalo," my pleasure.
That's awesome.
But no, yes, people do give you some very interesting things. But most of all, I love it when they do drawings or whatever. I love seeing what people create.
Are you very arty yourself? Because obviously you're
I am arty. I even did 13 episodes of an arts and crafts program for the BBC called Serendipity.
Named after you.
I worked in epoxy resins and I did weaving, which I do all things that I do. Well, the epoxy resin I never did before, and I've never done since. But yes, I do create a lot of things. I love doing things.
Do you? There's obviously a Katy Manning website. I was on it earlier, and where else can people kind of find? Where else can kind of people find Katy? You got a Twitter, an official Twitter, of course, which we've been communicating.
I Twitter. That's it. I don't Facebook because it's all too long and too complex in terms of the amount that goes up. I like sort of 40 characters and a punchline. And I love Twitter. I think Twitter's absolutely wonderful. I'm addicted to it. I have people saying to me, girlfriends saying, "Oh, for God's sake, get off your Twitter." I have it banned in some people's houses. I walk in, they say, "Right, switch your Twitter off." So I absolutely love it. I really do. But that's as much as I do on social networking.
Have you found that the interest in kind of you and Jo Grant as a character has massively kind of increased when the show came back? Like, have you, obviously you said you talked about the kind of conventions and things like that, but have you found that along with the show's return, Jo Grant kind of has as well?
Well, don't forget I was living in Australia for a long time, and then I was living in the States. I'd move around a lot, and they were going on way back in the 80s, but I wasn't sort of doing them. So they've been but I tell you what's very interesting is since I did the Sarah Jane Adventures, now my little fans, as well as, I've got like about 5 generations now, which is just lovely. You get the grandfathers coming along with the sons and then the kids, and it's wonderful. So that opened a door for even younger ones. And I think now, because Doctor Who is so big, I think all of us of feeling that we're getting more and more, things, like the figurines and so on and so forth, because there's now a very big audience now in 98 countries in the world, Russia, South America, France, I get tweets from and fan letters from, and that I didn't get before from those countries.
When you came on the, I don't know if you remember when you invaded our stream a couple of months ago and kind of sprinted in with Colin Baker and Sophie Aldrin and things like that. Is there kind of a lot of camaraderie between the?
Oh, huge! I mean, Sophie and I sat on the plane and we talked for 9 hours.
Wow!
That's awesome.
It's scary, isn't it? And, Colin and I have known each other for years. He played my husband on stage many years ago.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, we go way back. And obviously I've done the audios with him. But there is a huge camaraderie amongst the girls. I'm really close to all of them. We don't necessarily sort of rush around, but if somebody's in a play, like Louise Jameson, I went to see her in a play the other, and I travel quite a long way to see it. We support each other the best we can. And when we were together at the 50th, it was absolutely joyous. It really is. It's the Doctor Who kisses, I always call it. Once you've been touched by it, whatever you be, it's there. It's a family thing. And I don't think I've ever been involved in anything quite like that before. And I certainly won't be again. You
weren't one of those people that kind of gets a bit upset at the kind of the typecasting or anything like that. You're happy to kind of embrace the fact that you were Jo Grant.
I haven't been typecast. I came out of Doctor Who, and I played a junkie, a lesbian. I did an arts and crafts program, and then I played a 16-year-old mass murderess before going into the West End and playing an 18-year-old very pregnant unmarried girl.
Wow.
So I don't think I was typecast.
I wouldn't say you were typecast. No.
No, not at all.
I don't do any of those with Jo, darling. And I don't, I think that's just, as far as acting is concerned, I think Doctor Who is less likely to affect you than perhaps some soapies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There may be people who think they have been typecast, but once you're an actress, I always consider myself to be a working actress. That's what I do. Well, working, we hope, but a jobbing actress, and I like to explore, as I do with voices, the rest of me. Last year I was playing a very old lady in a home with Alzheimer's who was an ex-ballerina, with Susan Penhaligon, who was actually in a Doctor Who with me years ago. So, it
did a lot of research for that character.
With my memory, are you kidding?
Were you just like Alzheimer's on there?
Yes, I'm trying to remember the lines is a nightmare as you get older. It's actually quite a stressful thing to play. I can tell you that, because there's a lot that you have to work out, what you know, what you don't know, what's real, what's not real, and the frustration, and there's an awful lot of things that go on behind that. And obviously, at the age I'm at now, I have said goodbye to a lot of people who have gone that way.
So, did you feel that was a role that you really wanted to get right because you'd experienced that?
Yes, and it's very harrowing, I can tell you. Very harrowing.
Speaking of the, on a slightly kind of sadder note, obviously you were involved in the Sarah Jane adventures when, unfortunately, they had to end. Do you know if there are any kind of plans for you? Were you kind of hoping that you would be kind of more a regular kind of part of that show? Did you kind of find out more what was going to be part of that kind of final kind of season? Was that something you kind of, another kind of dynasty you were hoping to kind of be involved with more before it had to end?
No, I never crossed my mind. I never thought I'd ever be in, I never thought that anything like that would happen. The wonderful thing about life is the surprises, and I don't ever plan or think this is what I want to do or anything. I just kind of love life to be there, and hopefully you notice and take the moments as they come. That's why it's an adventure. And you don't get the disappointments too if you don't plan. But so that was such a joy to be given. It never crossed my mind. That was it for me as far as I was concerned. But I did know that Liz was very ill. So that was something I was well aware of. But it never would have crossed my mind for 2 seconds that anything for me was further. I'd enjoyed my moment and had the best time, and and that was it as far as I was concerned.
These are all questions coming from our community, by the way. Saffron asks, speaking of special moments, what was it like visiting the TARDIS set with Peter Capaldi, and did he show off his fanboy credentials in front of you? Is that something you did recently?
Well, actually, I was next door playing this wacky person in a casualty. And well, actually, she was rather lovely, but so I was. They said, "Oh, you know, Peter would love to meet you," because of course I was kind of around his time. And he was so excited and so lovely. I mean, I was just like, my little tummy, my little knees were wobbling with sheer excitement. You know, I think I got the closest I've ever felt to knowing what it would be like to be a fan. And I just got really excited. And of course, you know, I felt a bit embarrassed. I was like, well, God, blimey, I just pushed my hair up and everything because I was playing a completely different character with the worst curly hair you've ever seen in your life. So I shoved that on top of my head because I thought, I'm not going in with these curls. And anyway, went in to meet him. And then there were lots of people coming from various parts of the studio and saying, oh, Katy, it's so lovely to have you here. And, you know, and I'm thinking, gosh, it's lovely to have me. I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm about to explode. And then when he said to me, I want to do the shot in the TARDIS with the point and the thing. So he sent off someone to go and get his iPad so he could get those photographs. And then he started like actually a bit like Matt did, because Matt took me all around his TARDIS and showed me every little bit of it, like he was showing me around his flat. And Peter did the same thing, and I said, oh, that memory doofer, because I'm so good with technical terms. Yeah. That memory doofer. He said, oh, he said, I know what you're talking about. He said, come here, and he held my hands over it, and then he stood. You know, it was so lovely. And of course, I love him as an actor before he was in Doctor Who. But, you know, and of course he's showing me his TARDIS from his point of view with the little things changes that he's had in it, you know. It's really adorable. It's just so lovely to be shown round TARDISes, you know, by Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. Well, my life's complete now.
Sounds like an honour. Last question from our community here, and before I ask you, just thank you so much for joining us on tonight's show. It's been amazing.
Oh, and look, thank you so much for having me on, and I hope that I've answered questions along the way that maybe people didn't ask but would like to know.
Oh, it's just lovely to hear your perspective. But so last question. Obviously, you said you've kept up with the modern Doctor Who's, and obviously the new season of Doctor Who is starting toward the end of the summer. Where would you like to see the show go next? Like, you know, what are your, you know, answer this question in any way you choose, but, you know, what would you like to see in Doctor Who of the future?
Wherever they take me, I'm happy to go.
As long as they have to the full and it's an adventure.
Absolutely. I sit there I don't watch spoilers, you know, and, you know, I don't watch anything like that. I just go and I put my television on and I like to watch it when it's on. I don't want any of this stuff. I'll watch it later or on catch up. I want to watch it when it's meant to be on. And I just sit there and let it go and enjoy every second of it. You know, and obviously there are going to be ones you enjoy more than others. But on the whole, I mean, I have just loved every bit of it. And I'm so happy and so proud to have been a part of this incredible show.
I don't know if you're in text, Katy, but everyone is just gushing and bursting at the seams about having you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
we've got
all they just need to be grateful for is that they can't see me. I swear to you, that is the one thing, the gift I have given you today is not being seen.
I think my favourite comment that I've seen from the viewers in the chat so far has been, Katy's voice is so lovely and her enthusiasm is so infectious that I would listen to her reading a telephone directory.
I saw that one, yes. If anyone wonders why I think Lanya now worships Katy Manning more than he does his mother, now you all understand.
He's got a lovely mother, otherwise he wouldn't be the beautiful boy that he is. I've had a lovely time. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been such a treat.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Everybody who's listened to me, I hope they're all right.
They are filling the chat with lots of thank yous and we love you, Katy's, and lots of comments like that. So thank you so much again.
Well, thank you. You've been an absolute. I mean, I've hung out with you for this long because I really enjoyed myself.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That's why. Thank you, chaps.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Katy.
Bye-bye, Katy.
Bye-bye. Big hugs to everybody.
Yay.
Oh, big hugs back.
Bye-bye, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well,
Addie, you might want to put that code out before. It was.
Awesome.
Isn't she
Was
fast?
that all right? Did I make any sense? I wasn't
She's still
naughty,
there.
was I?
Yes.
It was still on there.
Oh, my God. Goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, hello.
Hello, Peter. How are you?
I'm good. That was awesome. That was just amazing.
I know, right?
I would say, though, if anyone wants to do an arts and crafts course, don't do epoxy resin. It will get you into a sticky situation.
We're getting such a marvelous collection of interviews on this channel, I have to say, between Nick Briggs and this. And
No, Katy was fantastic. That was
great.
just great.
yeah. People will reach out to Sophie Aldred and see if she'll do it as well, because she was so much fun on Anglicon as well.
Right, we've got a little bit of business to do before we wrap this show up. First of all, you believe you were promised a code, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stick it up on the screen. Susan, would you mind telling us what this lovely little code is for?
This is for 10 of each of the basic colored fragments, because we know that rank 6 takes a strand of time, but it also takes some basic fragments, which took some people by surprise. And sorry if that was in any way confusing. But so we thought we'd help everyone out a little bit with some colored fragments.
Very generous. You're probably the biggest fragment giveaway we've actually had on the show, as well as the biggest,
Hey, quite a nice code.
the biggest Doctor Who name. So your code for today, ladies and gentlemen, is 8525 6897 5632 8988, and I will post that into the chat as well. And when's that going to stop working?
In a couple hours. It's good for a little while.
Couple of hours, okay. And if you're, if anyone has any Australia, there was a very sad message from someone an Australian fan that was kind of like, we can't get on to watch this show because we can't see it live. So if anyone has the Australian fans on email addresses, you may email them the code, but please don't put it out onto public social media, please.
There you go. Yes. And then we have an Addy Gold giveaway, right?
We have an Addy Gold giveaway, absolutely. I think as we're at time, we'll leave the artwork things for next week. Should we go for that? Because there are some awesome ones, and I'd love to read.
Well, I guess another week for people to get Shadoon drawings in.
Yes, because I put it in the newsletter yesterday, so that will give people a little bit more time.
Okay, so if you're going to draw color Shadoon, do it now.
And I'll tell you what, I'll give. My additional challenge was going to be, as obviously with the adipose level, your additional challenge for hashtag Doctor Who Legacy Challenge or DWL Challenge is to complete the adipose level with at least 2 adiposes on your team. Not a particularly difficult one, but hopefully a fun one for you to try and go for. So if you'd like a new challenge, complete the adipose expert level with at least 2 adipose on your team. Good luck.
And I'm going to have to send you the Jadoon coloring that Lanyon did while I was away at Comic-Con. He's colored it in. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. And so Tony just put the hashtag
Peter, have you colored one in? Pete?
Sorry?
Have you colored in the Jadoon yet?
I have not. No.
Yay. You said you have a day off. You should do some coloring.
Sorry.
It's very therapeutic, adult coloring.
But I can give you one slight anecdote before we go.
Definitely.
If this is a spoiler, I'm going to throw down.
No, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. So the drama studios in Cardiff, where Doctor Who is filmed, is also, as Katy mentioned, the studios where Casualty's filmed. And in the canteens at lunchtime, it's full of not only Doctor Who monsters, but nurses, doctors, and strangely lots of policemen. So it's really quite bizarre experience.
Awesome. Right, let's start drawing these codes then. So I'm going to close the raffle. We've got 60,000 tickets in. 60,000.
Wow. That's a popular one.
A huge amount. So thank you very much for that. And obviously that includes people who are people. If you're a posse member, you got double, and if you're an Addy patron, you got an extra entry as well. So if you're both, you've got triple. So congratulations to all the people. I shall start the tombola. And we're going to have 5 winners, and we're going to do the same thing for the next 5 weeks, I think, or something like that. But we'll keep you up to date with it. But obviously, you can get real in-app purchases if you win this. And Susan's got the code, and she's going to send you your codes if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we'll assume that's okay. So congratulations too. I'm not going to give you more than one, of course. So you have to be, if your name comes up more than once, then you're only going to win it once, I'm afraid. And of course, you have to be following the channel. If you're not following the channel, the bot won't pick you. So, it's not too late. Just hit that follow button and then the bot will pick you if your name comes up. Right, here we go. Our first winner is Engineer 55. Congratulations, Engineer 55. You've just got yourself some money. And I will post these names back to Susan. Winner number 2 is Split Level Head. Congratulations, Split Level Head. You are also in the money. I want to know what people are going to spend these Amazon coins on. Obviously, you better spend it on Doctor Who Legacy. Or do you get money if they spend it on you?
Yeah, I think we do. I think it's just a gift certificate. Yeah,
okay.
Same to us.
In that case, you can. Winner number 3 is Dogers. Congratulations, Dogers, who is a posse member, and in fact, one of our new posse members. So congratulations to you. And winner number 4. Some people are saying there's an issue with the code, Susan. Have you seen?
Yeah, I don't know why some people are having issues with codes. If you're having issues with the code, you'll have to email me at support later.
It might be getting spammed. Give it a minute and try again.
Just write down the code and try again.
No need to mention it in the channel. Exactly. You just
there's quite a few people here tonight, so it could be that.
Get it that if people had trouble, just please email us support.
Congratulations, Josie 521 or 521. You have got your code as well. And our final winner tonight, not least, of course, because you get exactly the same prize as everyone else, is... Oh, it's Dogers again. So no, not Dogers again. It is Egeman42. Congratulations, Egeman42. You are our final winner for tonight. But don't worry, if you didn't win this evening, we're going to do exactly the same thing next Thursday. And of course, I'll be streaming lots and lots of stuff until then. And the added gold will be available on every single stream. And so you can build up your added gold, go put a big ward in, and hopefully walk away with real Amazon coins, which will sprinkle from your internet sky. Okay, I think it's time for the customary plugs. Lee, do you want to plug first?
I guess if you don't read the newsletter, Susan puts lots and lots and lots of effort into that every week. And it was a massive one this week. It was like 10 pages long. So go to DoctorWhoLegacyGame.com and sign up for the newsletter. There's always interesting stuff in it. And get ready for Season 9 in a few weeks, because it's coming.
And of course, you've got all the excitement of the Sonic Adventure, which I know loads and loads of people have completed already. I've seen loads of tweets of people saying, I stayed up till 4 in the morning, but I've got all of them. Pete, your turn. Any plugs?
Just to say, if you love Legacy, then please make sure you like it on the pages for the app stores. And oh gosh, what else is there? Obviously, we've got the season coming up on the 19th in the UK, which is going to be awesome. And of course, if you are a Lego fan, there's Doctor Who Lego Dimensions coming up. Starter packs launched on the 29th September, and the Doctor Who add-on pack is launched on the 5th of November. And it's awesome. So you still get to play Doctor Who stuff in the starter pack, some Cyberman stuff, some Dalek stuff, and Weeping Angels. And Peter Capaldi is in there as well. You'll love it.
Fantastic. Susan, any plugs?
Lee covered it. That's everything.
He's covered it. I will be back. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 20 minutes with some Skyrim. I'm experimenting with some mods on Skyrim, and I've downloaded a Doctor Who TARDIS mod, and we're going to go and see if we can find the TARDIS in Skyrim. It might suck. It might crash. It might be terrible. I might just die before I get there, but it could be awesome. Who knows?
So I might just stay tuned.
Come back in 20 to see if we make it to a Gallifreyan box in the middle of a Nordic snowland. Cool. Well, how awesome was that show? Susan, thank you so much for organising Katy coming on. And please,
it was fantastic.
From the community as well.
I smiled from ear to ear the whole time.
She was
if
great.
any of you have missed a bit of the show or you want to recommend the show, then I will make sure guarantee that this show will be up on YouTube by about midday tomorrow. So if you want to link them to that, that'll be the best place for them to find it, because it won't disappear and it'll be a permanent link and so on. Okay. Great.
Fantastic.
We have all been fantastic. And you know what? So was Katy Manning. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day. And if you're not yet doing so, then please don't forget to, he says, looking for the button that changes the screen into a lovely finishing song. It's there. There you go. There's a cheesy.
Follow, 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 follow.